Hi, dit is de Inksane Podcast. Ik ben Sandy en ik nodig elke week iemand uit de tattoo-wereld voor een inkijkje in hun leven. Wil je op de hoogte blijven van onze afleveringen? Klik dan op de subscribe-button hieronder. Tot binnenkort. Hi, welcome back to our Inksane Podcast. This is the 12th episode so far, and it's our second episode in English. Today I invited Jay. Jay Black is the artist name. He's a tattoo artist in my studio. And he's also a musician. So today I'm going to ask about his musician life more than the tattooist life. Welcome, Jay.
Hello.
It's nice to see you again.
Always a pleasure.
It's been a while. It's been 3 years since we've seen you at Inksane. A lot happened, of course.
Thanks to the pandemic,
Yep.
But it's so wonderful to be here again.
That's good. Nice to know. Like with every person that I invite, I always ask you, like, who are you and where do you come from? What are your roots? Can you tell us something about the start of your life and your career? And what kind of family do you come from? What did you study?
What kind of family did I come from? I have Polish roots, Polish American, but my grandparents, they came from Poland, and that's pretty much it. Not much to say about that.
No, you did not live you were not born in Poland.
No. I was born in America, Buffalo, New York, in America. Yeah, yeah. My great grandparents were.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But you're fully American.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. We used to make fun of my great grandfather because of the way he talked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because the little kids running around, he used to say, "What's the matter? You got bug up us?" And we could never figure out what he's saying. He was saying, "You got a bug up your ass."
Okay.
He said it so fast, yeah. Or he would say something funny. I always remembered. You have dupa paprika. It means you have asshole with paprika on it. I was like, oh my god.
Okay.
But anyways.
This is a lesson in language.
Yeah, I was like, oh my, yeah.
All right.
The funny things you learn.
The main part of your life was as a musician, right? So where did you start being a musician? Where did you learn it? Did you learn it in school by yourself?
Oh no, I was self-trained. I just ever since I was 5 years old, I had an obsession with music. I discovered Kiss, the band Kiss, at 5 years old. My mom was taking me shopping in a store, and they had the records like they have on display. And I seen the first Kiss album, and I saw their faces on there. I was very intrigued by what it was. I was like, oh, who's this? And next thing you know, my mom bought it for me, and she got me one of those old school plastic suitcase record players. And I put the Kiss album on there, and I automatically fell in love with it. So for me, as a child, instead of playing with toys, I had some toys, but all the kids in my neighborhood had toys. She would buy me for holidays and birthdays, she would buy me Kiss albums. And every time I opened it up and seen a Kiss album, I got super excited, I remember one year she bought me Kiss Alive 2, and it opens up and has the stickers in there, and I was just like, oh, this is amazing. And I listened to it nonstop. I just loved it very much, and I thought they were the characters they were portraying. I didn't realize they were human beings. Like, I thought Gene Simmons was a real demon. I thought Ace Frehley was a real spaceman. I thought Peter Criss was the cat, like a real cat man.
Okay.
And I thought Paul Stanley was more mysterious to me, because the other ones were more, you could tell what they were, but he was some kind of star child. I didn't know what he was, but I just thought they were the people they were portraying. So
in Belgium, if you buy something for a 5-year-old, it's not Kiss. It's like Samson and Hert. It's a dog, a fake dog, and a person, and we all think the dog is real.
Yeah.
But I think Kiss is way cooler than Samson and Hert.
Yeah.
That being said,
I wasn't like other kids.
I imagine.
Yeah, I had an obsession with music. And then I started having an obsession with art as well, because of my mother. I guess I got it from her. She drew some cartoon characters, and I was just a little boy, I was super intrigued by what she did. So, I used to get, I was into comic books. I loved comic books. My grandma used to give me a handful of change, and back in those days, you could go to the store, and I would get the hand-me-down comic books. They were literally like 5 cents a piece, But even the new ones back then were only like 30 cents. That's what was cool about that. But I get a whole bunch of comic books, and I started drawing superheroes, and my mom would get me books that would actually show you ideas on how to draw superheroes, and I would create superheroes and stuff.
Wow.
Yeah, that was fun to do.
That's why you thought kids were some kind of superheroes also in a way. So how did you involve? When did you start taking your own instruments?
The thing is, well, first I was obsessed with art. That was my thing. I really loved art and stuff. But as I got older, like in my teenage years, I went to school. I had art classes. I would incorporate skulls into my artwork. And some of the teachers would tell me to stop incorporating skulls. Yeah. And I would do it anyways because I was a rebellious kid. I wasn't good at listening, being told what to do. And then I had one class that was very hard. It was mechanical drawing. It's like engineering where you have to do the math of the drawing and stuff. It was actually quite a learning process because it still sticks with me to this day. Like
really the 3D view of how something puts together.
Yeah, with all the lines and the numbers and the mathematics of it. Oh, wow. The sketching, like architecture and stuff like that. Yeah. So I was really heavily into art. I always wanted to be a commercial artist is what I wanted to be as a kid. And then, but I was still obsessed with music all the time. And one time I came to like 14 or 15 years old and my father bought me a bass guitar. And that's really changed my life. I tell my dad to this day, he's like, you know what you did? You have no idea what you did to me. I mean, I ended up, playing in bands, touring, recording albums.
It came out of the blue, the gift? Or have you been asking for a bass guitar since
No, he surprised me. He surprised me. Like and I was just like super happy. He got me a bass guitar and I forgot about art. I lost total focus on my art and just became obsessed with my bass guitar. I did not put it down. I even carried it through the neighborhood with me to my friends' houses and stuff. Like, yeah. But I would sit in my room for hours and hours. I grew up listening to Kiss, Black Sabbath, and I would listen to it. And actually, one of the first songs I ever learned was a song I learned on the radio, Steve Miller Band. What's the name of that song? Dun, 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 dun. I can't remember. It's the Joker, I believe. But anyways, I realized that I can listen to music and figure out just by listening to it. And I was learning Iron Maiden, Judas Priest, Black Sabbath, Kiss songs, and
that's a gift to understand it from hearing by yourself and not getting trained.
Musicians, we call it having a golden ear, where you can listen to something and play it.
Wow.
Yeah, it's pretty cool that you can do that. But I sat in my room for hours and hours listening to cassette tapes, records, and just listening and playing. And the funny thing is, when I was in high school, before I started playing bass, I used to play drum beats in my head with my fingers. But I'd have when headphones first came out, I would start playing along with them. So I accidentally knew how to play bass already because I have a unique style and way I play bass that everybody seems to dig and love. I get a lot of compliments on. I have a very strong for how skinny and little I am. I have a very strong percussive attack on my strings. Okay. I don't just play bass. I attack it. Like I hit really hard every string. Like Steve Harris. Steve Harris from Iron Maiden, he does the galloping. He uses the three fingers, the gallops. For some crazy reason, my pinky likes to move. So I could do quadruplets. Instead of, but I could go back and forth. And when I start jamming with guitar players, I can play any intricate picking that they do. I can do with my fingers, no problem. And I just kept, getting faster, learning ears, all this metal. And then those were my influences, all the bands I played with. And then as I turned 16, like 17, that's when I started hanging out with a lot of friends in the neighborhood. We're listening to Slayer, Venom, Metallica. Yeah. That just changed the whole genre. So it's like, time to play faster. We were all speed kids, all into playing. Everybody wanted to be in the fastest band in the world, man. Right. So we played really. I look at the old videos of us when we were kids, man, and I'm like, oh my god, I can't believe how fast we played, spinning our heads and just going crazy. And it was a lot of fun. I met a couple guys. Actually, a buddy of mine, Jim Nichols, played in a band called Leviathan. He hit me up, says, we're looking for a bass player. I was like, cool, because I actually admired him, and I was surprised that he asked me because I loved their band. They were very Slayer-ish.
Okay.
And I was like, wow, cool, local thrash band. He was forming another band with some guys, and it ended up becoming Malevolent Creation. So I went and tried out, and he showed me one riff. I guess he probably thought it was the hardest riff to play because of how fast you have to play it. Basically going, so I was like, he's like, you're in.
Yeah.
That just from
Case
that one
closed.
riff. Yeah.
Right,
yeah.
right.
So
that was immediately your first band?
No, this was my third band.
Oh, okay.
When I was a kid, my first band I ever played in was, what was it called? Stonehenge. It sounded more like The Doors.
Okay.
Yeah, even the singer sounded like Jim Morrison. You know, and it was more of a hippie band. But I could keep up with them and play their music. It was a lot easier for me.
Yeah.
But I was showing them like Metallica, and they're like, whoa. It was like, but they didn't want nothing to do with that. I ended up meeting some more friends in the neighborhood that were more into the heavy stuff.
Yes.
We started listening to Venom, Merciful Fate,
Yeah.
and King Diamond. And I formed a band with them. It was called Vermithrax. It's the name of the last dragon, supposedly.
Okay.
And we were playing Venom songs. We did a Metallica song.
More like tribute.
Well, we weren't. Well, yeah, I guess you could say it was a tribute band. Well, we never played any shows.
Okay.
You know, it was more fun. We rented a room in this place called Absolute Storage, and
And good as a rehearsal.
yeah. Exactly. A rehearsal room. But we wrote a few originals.
Mm-hmm.
But we were definitely playing the songs of bands that we liked. And as I was doing that, the word got out, you know, that I play bass, and that's when I was approached by Jim Nichols. And he was like, yeah, I heard you play bass, blah, blah, blah. He's like, I was like, yeah. And that's when he tried me out, and I just kept going to the next level, you know, from the Doors to Merciful Fate, and then to the Slayer. I was very into Slayer. I love Slayer, man. And I wanted to play that extreme, you know.
I researched, I just put ready on my screen a song of Malevolent Creation. Maybe we should play a few seconds just so the listener can know what we are talking about.
Absolutely. So put your seatbelts on.
The context is given.
My brother Brett, God rest his soul.
That one died, right?
Yes, he passed away from cancer about 3-4 years ago.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah. He was my best friend, man. He was a character. He could make everybody laugh. Things could be going bad or something wrong, and he'll find something to make a joke about it, make everybody laugh. He was that guy. There's me with my long hair.
How old were you there in the video?
This is... what year was this? I think this was 2014, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
It was at Party Sands Festival in Germany. In front of there's about 10,000 people, a big festival.
Oh, good, nice.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. So you were in the founding band. You're a founding member.
Absolutely,
yeah. That's great.
Yeah, original member. Yep.
Yeah.
Me, the singer, and the guitar player were the original members. We always went through guitar players and drummers, and they called us the Three Musketeers.
Oh, okay.
As long as all three of us were in a band, it was pretty much Malevolent Creation.
Yeah.
Anything without one of us three is not Malevolent Creation, but that's my opinion.
Right.
And a lot of fans' opinions.
You're allowed to have your opinion.
Absolutely.
Yeah. It lasted for a very long time, right? How long did you play?
Well, we formed the band in 1987, and we moved to Florida. We had a really good drummer, Dennis Kubas. He decided to go a different route with music. He wasn't into the heavy stuff like we were, but he figured out Rain and Blood, the whole album. And we're like, wow. And we only exclusively played original music. We ended up moving to Florida. And back in those days, Fort Lauderdale was the place to be for spring break. Out of the whole world, everybody came to Fort Lauderdale. So when we got there, it was a big party. That party lasted for about 10 years or so. In 1990, we got signed to Roadrunner Records and did our first album, and it came out better than we thought it would, and we got a lot of appraisal, and it did very well. Then we did a second album, Retribution, which a lot of you know of, that's the album we were praised for the most. They were comparing us to Slayer, saying that we were Slayer on crack because we were faster. We're playing these fast, crazy blast beats.
And back in those years, how much CDs got sold in that time era? Do you know?
I know in our second album, it was like, I mean, before the album came out, we had like 50,000 pre-sale. Yeah.
Pre-sale,
Yep. And we ended up doing a really good tour that year with Obituary, Cannibal Corpse, and Agnostic Front. That was the tour of the summer, the heaviest underground metal tour of the summer. It was great. We had tour buses, we had a crew, you know, we were doing a lot of partying. Sometimes I didn't even know what city I was in. They had everything set up. I would just get up there and play and just go party.
Do you ever see something of the city, of the places where you go to, or just the venue and the street around it, and there it stops?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I love wandering around the cities. Absolutely. That was one of my favorite things to do.
Okay.
You know, hang out with the guys, and we definitely wander around the cities. In fact, we were on tour in where was it? Oh, Virginia Beach. We were in Virginia Beach. It was on the beach. The venue was on the beach. And there was just a big party, you know, it was summertime. There's a lot of women. And we canceled the next show because we were having so much fun. We went to an apartment and we were all getting women and partying. And we rented this place for 3 days and just partied, and we're doing a lot of crazy things. I got some stories from that tour, boy, I'll tell you what.
Right. Do you have what's your most crazy fan story that happened? Do you have a fancy story about fan incident, fancy fan?
Yeah, well, like the one I told you, the one in Belgium when we played in 91, we did our first tour with Grave.
In 91, so immediately after your first American tour, you came to Europe.
Yep.
You came a lot to Europe, right? I remember vaguely.
We frequented Europe quite often. Everyone knows that. Oh yeah.
So what was the fan story?
Oh, when we came to Belgium, we were playing, and I noticed two skinhead guys out in the crowd in the front, right in front of the stage. And they had no shirts on, and the one guy had a big thick chain around his neck with inverted big metal cross with Jesus on it and everything. I'm like, wow, that's disturbing. We're not a satanic band or nothing, but just to see that, I was like, the death metal fans are pretty out there, pretty crazy. And these two guys, while we were playing, I guess this was their way of getting it. They were like spitting at each other and like going back and forth in their mouths. And I thought it was quite disgusting. And they were like spitting towards our way. And we actually stopped playing for a minute and told security that we don't want these people spitting on us. It's disgusting. But yeah, that definitely tripped me out. I was like, is this what happens in Belgium? It's not what happens in Belgium. It's just these crazy guys doing...
You didn't know? That's what we do here.
That's what we thought, though. I'm like, oh my God, this place is crazy. It's like the fans like spitting on each other.
And do you mean spitting on each other, or...
They were spitting on each other, but they were going back and forth in their mouths. That was, that's pretty disgusting.
Little detail that makes the story a little different.
Yeah, it was just back and forth on like ping pong. I'm like, what the hell?
Oh, security saved you?
Yeah, they came out and moved them out from the front of the crowd. Yeah.
You didn't have to stop playing or something to
We stopped playing for a minute, because I think they spit at my guitar player.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's when he was like, no, this isn't cool. And I was like, and I I'm trying to play and I'm watching these guys. I'm like, what the hell? Yeah, so that was taken care of.
Does it happen often that you have to stop playing for some incidents?
No, never. No. Oh, one time somebody threw a drink. Well, we didn't stop playing. I remember somebody threw a drink at me and it went all over. I'm like, ugh. But we kept going.
You just keep going, right?
Yeah, pretty much I have to.
What's the craziest country you've been? What's most different than what we know? I guess the Belgium scene is a little bit similar like the American scene. Do you have countries where you say, oh wow, these people are totally different, I can feel I'm not...
Oh yeah, South America.
Yeah?
Yeah, the Mexico City, Monterrey, the fans, they're pretty crazy. I remember in Mexico City, the crowd, they slam dance, the pit.
Mm-hmm.
And they were pretty violent, man. They were beating the crap out of each other. And it was funny. There was thousands of people there. And I remember they have security in front of us to keep these crazy people from getting up to us. And there's this huge security guy, and there was a super huge guy in the crowd. And I see him hit the security guy. He's like, boom. And then security guy hits him. They're just going back and forth while we're playing. Boom. Wow. Boom. Boom. I'm just like, what the hell? And bodies flying everywhere, diving. And what was crazy is at the end of the show, there was clumps of hair everywhere. People ripping hair out of their heads, I guess. I was like, wow, this place is nuts.
And you have time to watch all that while you play? Did you get distracted?
Oh, I don't get distracted. Actually, when we see stuff like that, it makes us play harder. The more violent the crowd gets, the harder we play.
Okay.
Yeah, we actually get off on the violence in the crowds back then.
In another context, it would sound so...
I got so excited, I don't know if it was at the end of the song or whatever, I dove out into the crowd and did a little crowd surfing, and then he brought me back up.
Does it occasionally get really bad? Do accidents happen or people get really hurt?
There have been incidences. Not for us in particular, but I've seen other bands where people, practically break their neck or their leg. Because, when you're doing stuff like that. I remember we played in Ireland. I was concerned, man. This kid climbed up on the PA system real high, and he just dove right off into the crowd. Wow. Thank God the place was, packed and caught the guy. God forbid it would have hit the ground. I'm like, oh, yeah. But security was trying to get to him, but he was already up there and shit. And we're playing, and I watched him, man, and just, I was like, whoa. Thank God he's all right.
Wow. Do you prefer to play a show where the crowd is right in front of your stage? Forgive me if that is not the case with your bands anymore. Or do you prefer the show where there's a big layer of security between the stage and the people? It doesn't make a difference in the contact you can get with the crowd or so.
Well, it depends, because sometimes, like we played in Venezuela one time, and we had security. I don't mind. I love having people right there up in the front, absolutely. But it depends how crazy they are. Uh-huh. In Venezuela, we had security, and they get so excited when we play Coronation of Our Domain. Every time we play the song, people go crazy. They broke the security barrier. And they just barreled right through it. I'm like, and I was doing vocals at the time. This was like 95, and I was just like, oh shit, here they come. All these Venezuelans just swarmed us on the stage.
On stage.
They swarmed right up there, and they just came right up there, and they circled us. They surrounded us. We were in the middle of the circle playing, and the kids are coming up to my microphone, singing with me, putting their arm around me, and I'm just like, holy crap. And security between the songs was trying to tell the crowd to calm down. You need to get off the stage and blah, blah, blah. They weren't listening so well. We played another song, and they were still up there going crazy. When we played certain songs they recognized, it made them go extra crazy, and they shut it down. We only lasted, I think, about 4 or 5 songs. They were so into us and so excited that we were in Venezuela that...
Wow.
I was just kind of disappointed he shut it down. They weren't hurting us or anything.
You didn't mind?
I didn't mind. No, it was fun. It was really cool. But the security couldn't do their job. They were overwhelmed because there were so many people. I thought it was cool, actually, to see something. It was an experience, I was just like, wow, that's crazy, man. That was just unfortunate that they shut down the show. Because
show aborted because of 2 crazy fans. That's a nice
all
statement
of them,
to have on your name.
All of them. They all came up there. They surrounded us. We were in a circle of all these fans. I was like, wow, this is cool. They're not hurting us, but I was like, wow, holy shit.
Nice story.
Yeah.
What do you do if you come off stage? Do you need a ritual to...
Yeah, vodka and orange juice.
But that's after the show, or that's before.
Before and after.
Oh, before.
No, usually we're usually covered in sweat and because we spin our heads. We're very physical on stage as well.
Right.
Yeah, we spin our heads, put on a show, and it's very exhausting. We're covered in sweat, my drummer back then, because he has to play so hard, and sometimes when it's hot, he would vomit sometimes after the show. So basically, we like to sit backstage and calm down and catch our breath and, stop sweating.
You need a moment.
Absolutely. Yeah, it takes a few. Yeah, sometimes places will have showers. It's nice to cool off.
Right. But sometimes you don't have showers.
No. Sometimes you get a little stinky.
Right. Do you mix in the crowd afterwards? Do you take after parties with the public?
Yeah.
Every time, sometimes?
Most of the time. Most of the time, yeah. Especially when we play in back in the day there was always a party after groupies, parties.
Signatures, merchandise.
Oh yeah. So merchandise. But yeah, there was always parties. Especially when you go to other countries, like Belgium. I remember our first time playing in Belgium in '91. You are very proud of your bear hair. And that's what they kept, you need, all the fans were like, hey, try this.
Oh, the beer. Yeah.
The beer, like the Duvel
right.
and all the different beers. You guys are very proud of your beer, and you have delicious beer here. I always loved it. My first experience in Belgium, I fell in love with the place. It was just like, people are very nice and, good food. And I like the country. I like the architecture, a lot of green, farmlands. It's just very beautiful here. I always admired it.
Wow.
I remember we went to a restaurant because they had a big picture of a burger on it, which reminded us of burger in America. It's like a big thing. It was very common back then to get a American style burger. Oh. And they had a picture of it on this place. And we went in there and it was a little different. It wasn't like you get in America where you get a beef patty grilled on the grill.
Yeah.
They were taking the meat. It wasn't like beef. It was like processed meat, and they were deep frying it.
Oh.
It was good. We still ate it. I was just thought that was different. I was like, oh, they deep fry the meat. That's weird.
That's the kind of burger you get in a frietkot. I don't know the English word. It's typical for Belgium.
Yeah.
Oh, right. You don't have those where you live? That kind of deep fried burgers? That was new.
No, we traditionally cook it on the grill or in a frying pan.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah, and it's usually just pure beef.
I know which one you mean. I thought that you had both versions.
No, that's why we thought it was so weird that they deep fried it. Yeah. We're used to seeing it put on just straight beef on a grill. Yeah. The grill is the best way. Yeah. Barbecue,
Mm-hmm. Good. So from your music career, somehow, somewhere, the art got involved again. How did that?
I was so obsessed with music and touring for years, and then.
Do you get tired of it? Do you start searching for other options, or does it get exhausting? Maybe all the touring, or.
As I got older, it did. But when I was hanging out with a group of people, man, back in the MySpace days. Mm-hmm. We had a thing in Florida called, we weren't a gang, but we were like a club. All of us bonded in South Florida that we called it South Florida Death Metal. I have it tattooed on the side of my leg. It says SFDM. It was our little group. We would go to concerts together, and there would be like literally about 30 or 40 of us every time. And we used to hang at my buddy Sam's house. My buddy Sam is a tattoo artist. He's an old school traditional tattoo artist from Idaho. And he tattooed me a bunch of times, and I got into some trouble. I was drinking and driving, and I got caught, so I went to jail. And I'm the type of guy that learns from his mistakes. I didn't want to go to jail again. So when I got out, I was behaving myself. I stopped drinking for a while, because I had to deal with a lot of legal issues. And while I was in jail, I started drawing again. That's what got me drawing again. I was in there.
So how long were you in jail?
Oh, I ended up having to do a couple weeks.
Oh, for drinking and driving a couple of
Well,
weeks?
there's more to it than that. I violated my probation from another incident. Okay. So I had to do 90 days in jail, 2 separate occasions. And I got bored sitting in there, so I started drawing again. I started doodling, and then it got to the point where I was doing it every day because I was so bored. I started drawing on people's envelopes people in jail like to send letters to their families, and I'm drawing hearts, all kinds of stuff. I guess that was my flashback then. I didn't even realize it. But they let us out of our cells, I would have some envelopes, and I would have them pre-draw. Whatever I drew, I would have these envelopes sitting there, and I'd keep drawing. And all the inmates would come over, and they were intrigued by, can you draw for their families and stuff, hearts and the ribbons. I was doing a lot of those. And let me tell you something. I had more cup of noodles and Kool-Aid than anybody else in jail. That's what they paid me with. Yeah. So, and the trustees were sneaking me pencils and paper under the door, and that's what I did. I got into it. That was my thing. That's how I survived in jail.
So this is actually the most classic old school tattoo story ever. Like, I started in jail.
Yeah, right. All the prison work that's out there.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
You didn't tell me you were in prison when you asked to do a guest spot in our shop. We don't work with delinquents, I didn't tell you.
Well, I didn't go to prison. I went to jail. Big difference.
Okay.
Prison is when you have to do a year or plus, And they put you in it's a more harder,
Oh, okay. Whatever.
County jail is just, it's like grammar school. Yeah, it's like grammar school there. But no, I behaved myself, did all my stuff I was supposed to do. I didn't go back. And then when I got out.
You still don't drink?
No. Nope.
Since then?
No,
Okay.
I drank since then, but
Okay.
I quit years ago because of my health,
Right.
And it got old, I grew up. I finally grew up. But that's what I did. When I got out of jail, I was, I had these doodles, and my buddy Sam, the tattoo artist, the traditional guy, we used to have parties at his house all the time. He seen me doodling one day. I was just doodling. I didn't think nothing of it. He goes, I didn't know you know how to draw. I was like, I'm just doodling, man. I was like, he goes, no, that's pretty cool, actually. He's like, you ever consider tattooing? And I always, for years, loved getting tattoos from him and friends for years. And when I go on tour, this was my first international tattoo. I got it in Holland. And he says to me, he goes, have you ever considered tattooing? I was like, no, I never even thought about tattooing. I've always loved getting tattoos. I always, was obsessed with that. That's why I have so many tattoos on me. And he goes, I'll show you the tattoo if you're interested. I'm like, really? I was like, man. And then I started thinking, because I never thought of actually tattooing. So he goes, well, start drawing. He just told me, keep drawing. I was like, all right. I did exactly what he told me to do. So I locked myself in the house for about 6 months. And I was tracing cool designs that I liked. But I would fill up a whole photo album on every page with multiple pictures. I just kept drawing. I got the Prismacolor pencils. I was coloring them in. And I just kept doing it. And I just got to the point where he told me to get a tattoo machine. And I had no idea what to do with it. I got a Joe Kaplan. Oh, what was the model? I got a Joe Kaplan machine. It's an old school aluminum.
How old were you then?
Oh, how old was I? This is like 2004 or 5. So
almost 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're like 17, 18 years ago.
Okay.
So I just kept drawing. I was obsessed with it, and there was this is well before tattooing became a trend. There wasn't tattoo shops everywhere. There was only one in our area, And I would go up the street, I would get tattoos from them, and I brought this machine. I'm like, how do you use this? I was trying to figure out how to plug it in. And the guy was nice enough to show me and stuff. But Sam Jones, he pretty much showed me the ropes on how to do it. And I started doing the orange. And I was like, whatever. I tattooed the orange.
Oh.
And then I tattooed a chicken.
A dead chicken, I assume.
Yeah. Like the kind you roast in the oven.
Uh-huh.
I tattooed the chicken, but the skin is so thin and flimsy, it was hard to try and do it. So then he recommended me to try a picnic shoulder, a pork picnic shoulder. It's a piece of meat that you cook. It's got the bone in the middle, the meat, and it has this thick piece of skin on it.
Yeah.
The pig skin works amazing. It's thick. And I started practicing on there. I started getting better, but I bought so much pork because I, kept tattooing on them.
Did you eat it afterwards?
That's the thing. I would tattoo it, take the skin off it, and I would cook the meat. I know how to cook very well. And
you don't, or you do?
What?
Know how to cook very
well? I know how to cook very well.
Okay,
I cooked in the restaurants too as a kid. And so I would cook these porks and I would feed my neighbors because I kept buying them. I was obsessed. I was having fun learning how to tattoo. But unlike people today who are anxious to tattoo right away, I'm a perfectionist. I wanted to learn the process first. I was too nervous and afraid to do a human or a person. I didn't want to hurt them. I was just like, so for 6 months, I practiced on pigskin. I would do I'm a big fan of this guy called Eric Pegor's Toxic Tunes, all the Frankenstein and Dracula crazy cartoony stuff. So I learned how to put a stencil on there, and I was doing it on the pigskin. I would cut the skin off, and I would stick it in the freezer so I could show it to my buddy Sam what I did, and I started showing off to my neighbors and my friends. Everybody came, oh, look what I did, and one day came that I started getting good at it, and then my mentor Sam Jones, he goes, you're ready to tattoo. I was like, oh, I was so nervous, and all I know is one day I have many friends from being a musician and cooking and in the neighborhood. I had a lot of guinea pigs, you could say. They were offering, oh yeah, you could practice on me. One day, well, back then, I didn't make a lot of money playing in the band. And I would survive off working in a restaurant cooking, and I didn't make a lot of money doing that either.
And what was the stage of your band? Was that when Malevolent Creation started, or after it, or how do I place those together?
Before, during, and after.
Okay.
Yeah, I cooked.
So the band wasn't making you enough money for a living?
No, not for a living. Absolutely not. No.
Okay, so you had to keep up with other jobs.
I sacrificed a lot of jobs for the band and my life for the freaking band.
yeah. So you did a lot of different little jobs on the side.
Yes, and all my friends would always pat me on the back for that. Jay, he cooks. He plays music, and now he's tattooing. So I guess I'm multi-talented. But one day, I set up everything in my apartment, my own little tattoo studio. And one day I made $400 in one day. To me back then, that was a lot of money. It took me 2 weeks to make that cooking in a restaurant. And I was like, wow, I made $400. I was like, I can get used to this, So I just kept doing it. And then next thing I know, one of my buddies that works at a tattoo shop, his girlfriend actually introduced me to him. It was Ben Garcia at Ink Daddy's in North Miami. Gave me my first job. He, brought me in, took me in under his wing, taught me stuff that he knew. And what was good about working for him is I learned how to build tattoo machines. On the slow days, we would sit there and just take machines apart and build new ones, put them together. And me and him got along really well. I became super obsessed with the tattoo machine. I wanted to know how it worked. I didn't want to just use it. I want to know how does this thing work? So I took it apart a million times. I learned how to tune it. I learned all the shims, all the parts, and it got to the point where my bedroom turned into a machine shop. I had the torch, drill press. He taught me how to tune a machine quite well. I was really good at it. And me and him, we designed our own tattoo machines. He showed me how to take jeweler's wax, and that's when I did a mechanical drawing of a shape that I thought would look cool. And I created the things. I was so creative. I mean, I even took wing nuts, because back then you had to use clip cords. I would take wing nuts and I would take a Dremel and I would cut holes through them, and I would put on the side of the machine. The reason I did that is because it would keep the clip cord away from my hand more. So I designed this shape, and we had did the jeweler's wax. With the jeweler's wax, they make a mold and they pour the hot metal into it. and then they give you the frame that's the metal, but the metal is very raw, so it's a lot of filing, like hundreds of hours of filing. I would go to the
handwork.
I would go to the beauty supply store because they all have the different grades of nail files. Yeah, I would just file, and drill, and I wish I had it here to show off. I have a machine that I built myself 17 years ago. I still hold it. It's heavy as hell. It's made from brass. But it got to the point when I started working in the shops, as years went by and I became more experienced, it got to the point where it was, Jay, my machine, Jay, my machine. And everybody's like, you too, my machine? It got to the point where I would start charging everybody like $20. Hey, $20 if you want me to tune your machine. And a little more if I have to replace any parts or anything. So I can tune an old school machine quite well. And
that's cool. Do you still use old school machines?
Nah. I miss them. They used to make fun of me at the shop because I would have like 30 machines. Yeah, Jay, he's got a machine for each day of the month. But I tell you what, every time I walk into a shop and they know or recognize me, hey Jay, can you look at my machine? And I'd have it within 5 minutes. I have it running like brand new.
Oh,
yeah. Wow. It was fun.
The first time you came here, you still had an old school machine with you, no?
I had the rotary, but the old school rotary, I guess you could say.
The old school rotary.
I was into the Neotats. It still had a cord on it and a tube and needle.
Right.
Yeah, I only got into these pen machines not too long ago. You turned me onto the one wireless one, which blew my mind away. But
I love wireless.
Yeah, me too. I mean, I didn't get into it till I came here 2019. Oh yeah, I came here with my Neotats.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't have my first pen machine till after I saw you with that ink machines. But yours was wireless. I was like, what the hell? I was very happy with my Neotats. It got the job done. But when I seen you with a wireless machine, I was like, oh my God, I got to try one of these things out. I didn't start using pen machines with the cord. A lot of people had the cord.
Okay.
I jumped right into the wireless era because I was very loyal to my Neotats.
Okay.
And then after I seen you with that, I ended up, my first pen machine was the Axis. I used the wire at first. And then I found they started, I guess 2018. No, I came here in 19. So it's not too long ago that they came up with these wireless battery packs. This is all still new. So it's only like, 3 years old. Yeah, and I got the wireless battery packs, put it on there. I'm like, oh my God, I could go anywhere. I'm not connected to a wire anymore. Even when I was young, I was like, man, it'd be cool if we didn't have to use this cord. And what else I hated was the pedal. To me, it was always a distraction. Yeah? Yeah, because when you're trying to tattoo and you're doing this all the time, it's moving your body around. And I hated that. I was like, man, if I could just turn it on and leave it on, that would be awesome.
Oh, I still use the pedal, actually.
Do you? A lot of people are comfortable with that because they like the, turn it on.
I just don't want the cord for my machine because then it lies on the fresh tattoo and then it's all getting dirty and you have to be careful where your wire goes all the time.
Yeah. And a lot of people, like you're used to it. Yeah, you're comfortable with it. Yeah. I just thought it would be cool not to move my leg around and keep pressing all the time while I'm trying to work. I want to put my feet up and relax. And that's what I could do now. Yeah. And with these wireless machines, we have freedom. You just have freedom to do.
Ah, you mean a pedal that you have to keep pushing was annoying?
Yes.
Right.
Yes,
right.
The one you keep pushing. Yeah.
Yeah, that's old school.
Yeah, and then they came with a critical supply. I had it where you could just turn it on, just press the button and it stays on. But with the pedal too.
Yes.
They did the pedal too. Yeah. But I thought that was cool when they finally invented that. I was like, oh, cool. I don't have to keep pressing. I prefer the on, off. For sure. That's what I like. For sure.
So your balance has moved also from how much you play music to how much you tattoo? In the past, you did the tattooing to support your music business?
Yeah, absolutely. I retired from this in 2015. I did my last tour in Europe. Oh. It was ironic because my first tour I did in Europe was with Grave from Sweden. And my last tour was with Grave from Sweden. So it was a special tour for all of us. That was my last one.
And you knew it at that time? It was your last tour?
I pretty much did. They kept trying to get me to... Every time they're always begging me to go out with them and tour because it helps when you have the original members, but I was really not interested. Huh? When my tattooing career came off, I was very focused and obsessed with tattooing,
So you stopped playing music for tattooing?
No. I was doing both at the same time for many years. I even brought my equipment on the road. I was tattooing people on the tour bus, backstage. And I just got tired of the road life. Partying every night and trying to be comfortable. That was my biggest issue, just trying to be comfortable. You're pretty comfortable on a bus, but moving around and traveling all the time, you get stuck on a bus for 8 hours at a time, gets really old,
How many days a year were you on tour?
Well, we would do at least a month or so.
Per year?
No, I mean different times of the year, but it was always at least 30 days.
Every tour was at least 30 days.
And they make bands like us play like every day. We really had a day off.
Yeah.
It's exhausting. And every day is Friday. I try not to drink, but it's like I end up drinking again anyways. And it got to the point where you drink so much, I'd be dry heaving the last couple weeks of the tour, like, ugh. And when we get home is when you dry out, and it's a process. And that's not healthy for you, And I have recent health issues, and I think it's because of that, all the drinking I did over the years. Yeah. Luckily, I'm not an alcoholic that has to have it or needs it. My doctor tells me something, I listen to him. He goes, you need to stop drinking. I stopped drinking. No problem. Yeah. I enjoyed it. It was fun, but if it's taking a toll on my health, it's time to stop. Mm-hmm.
I imagine that being an artist takes more tolls on your health than just because of the alcohol. I assume your ears are not so good and your neck from the head banging. And
my ears are ringing right now from listening to Danny play the other night. My ears are always ringing now. Yeah, from all that music. Unfortunately, I tried the earplugs thing, but I need to hear it and feel it. And now I'm paying the consequences for it.
Would you wear earplugs when you knew what you knew today? Would you have worn them in the past?
Probably, if I knew I was going to be hearing this all the time. Yeah. And when I'm in a quiet room like this, that's all I hear.
Oh, that's why you have your music on all the time.
Yes. It soothes my ears and distracts it. So I'm constantly playing music when I tattoo. I always have my speaker with me, always playing music. I carry I'm surprised they're not on me right now, but I have my wireless headphones everywhere I go. Everywhere I go. Some people tell me too, goes, Jay, do you ever listen to music? I'm like, no. All the time.
When Jay comes to our studio, you always want to have your personal room. So we only have one booth that is in a room that you can close with a door. All the other booths in the studio have 2 or 3 next to each other. You want the separate room so you can close the door and put your music a little louder.
Exactly, and I appreciate you guys doing that for me. That's a request I always tell Danny, can I have the room? It's nice to have my music. It is like, I don't, if I hear music I don't like, I'm not comfortable. If I get to hear I'm used to hearing my music. I mean, I have variety. I have everything from Beatles to Slayer, but I put it on random and I have thousands and thousands. I'm super comfortable when I have my music in the corner there. I don't play it real loud, just enough to hear it, and it makes me comfortable while I work. And it's good for my clients too. They seem to enjoy. They say, oh, like Slayer will be playing, and then the Beatles will come out. Wow, that's quite a variety. I'm like, yep, I got it all.
I was just gonna say, for the clients, if you book with Jay, it's part of the package.
Absolutely. I've had clients ask, can I play last? I'm like, nope.
I have a veto on the music.
Yeah. I need to be comfortable. And that's what my music makes me very comfortable. Yep.
Cool. You didn't really quit playing music, right? You still have a band?
Yeah, I play in a local band called Doom Skull. Some of my local buddies, and I don't play as fast and heavy and crazy like the death metal stuff I used to. This is more of the Black Sabbath type music, stoner rock, more groove, more bluesy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And why do you like this more than what you used to do? Because of no touring and the less physical?
Yeah, we just play locally. It's less physical. I mean, the guys in my band play a lot harder than I do. They still bang their heads and they do their thing. And I just kick back. But it's I've always loved that type of music. It's more laid back. And a lot of my personal friends that aren't big into death metal love my band because my singer actually sings instead of growling and being brutal.
Okay.
And it's groovy. It's got good groove. That's what I like about it.
Yeah. But you are not looking for tours?
No,
you don't even want
not
to?
At all. We only play once a month, if that, and it's got to be on a Friday or a Saturday. Oh. I call this my retirement band. I still like to play music, but I just don't like the work involved in playing heavy metal.
Okay, cool. So you're slowing down with the music?
Absolutely, 100%.
The tattoos stay on the same pace for now? How long do you think you're gonna keep doing it? Tattooing?
As long as I physically can.
Is it hard physically, tattooing?
My back's been taking quite a bit of a beating, but I exercise every day to strengthen it and make it better. Yeah. The planks really help my back.
You do that too
every day?
Wow. The bicycling, the walking you do every day?
Yes.
The healthy diet?
Yes, and I have to. If I don't, I feel like sludge. I have to push myself.
Wow.
I woke up a little rough today, and I was just like, I was telling myself, I'm not a type of person to give up. I just go up. You got this. You got this. Get up. Push yourself. Move around. Walk.
Can I ask how old are you?
53. I'll be 54 this December.
Right. And when you work in America, did you build a pension, or that's not so normal like in Belgium, I guess?
Yeah, I have a Social Security.
Right, but if you reach a certain age, will you receive pension or benefits from the state after retirement?
Yeah. I have to wait till my 60s, I believe.
60?
Yeah.
Okay, so you don't have to keep tattooing until you're 80.
I will if I can. I'll tattoo till 90. Because honestly, it's like it's medicine for me. It's very therapeutic. A lot of my clients have mental problems, and they find it very therapeutic coming in the pain. And when I'm doing the tattoo, just doing the tattoo is very therapeutic. And I need therapy right now because I haven't tattooed in a couple weeks. Just doing it takes my mind off everything. The world around me ceases to exist when I'm tattooing. And I'm so comfortable and relaxed. When I don't tattoo for a while, I'm like, it's like a drug for me. I love doing it, man.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
I don't know that effect. I'm never that I forget everything around me. It doesn't exist. Anything I do, I keep getting all the impulses from everywhere. I have to answer this mail, and I have to do this, and I have to do that.
Wow. Oh, that's too bad.
Always. Yeah.
You're always thinking, overthinking. So let me ask you this. I mean, do you feel like you're working when you're doing tattoos then?
No, but I also feel like I'm not doing other works in meantime.
Oh, yeah, I got you.
Yeah, I feel
because you're so focused on the tattoo.
Yeah.
That's
but I feel my to-do list growing while I tattoo. Tattooing is nice and relaxing, but I feel the other work is...
Oh, poor thing, man. I'm like the opposite. When I tattoo, I stop thinking about everything. Oh, right. God forbid I did that. You start thinking all different things. Like, I need to... Hang on.
That was part of my training. There was a phase when I was tattooing, and every half an hour I stopped. I took my pen, which was next to me, and I add something to my list, and then I knew I could put it out of my head so I could focus again. But I had to train myself out of that habit.
Yeah.
Not making to-do lists while you tattoo.
Well, that's crazy. You're thinking too much while you're tattooing. Yeah, I'm the complete opposite. It stops me from thinking.
Okay,
because I'm an overthinker as well. I got a wild imagination.
Good. So we can expect many, many more years of tattooing from you. Oh,
absolutely. Well, as long as I can physically do it.
I hope you keep coming back here quite often.
Well, I appreciate you. I really appreciate it. I love coming here.
Oh, that's good.
It's very serene and relaxing here for me.
Yeah. I heard you find it calm and anti-stress to be tattooing here.
Well, I live in a big city in Florida, Fort Lauderdale, and it's just getting more and more crowded. The traffic is absolutely dangerous and insane. The way people drive, the younger generation, everybody's doing 20 miles easily over the speed limit. I drive in the slow lane, and I only do 5 miles over the limit. I mean, here, I have to drive to work. I have to be around. I see all the crazy. It's so bad right now. The past 2 years, I've never seen cars flipped over. There's cars flipped over from people driving so crazy, and there's accidents everywhere. It's just... People are rude. It seems like when people get in their vehicle, they become a mean asshole. It's just like, everybody's angry. Always flipping me off because I'm going too slow. Here, when I'm working for you, I have no work commute. The supermarket is a block away. The town center is 5 minutes away. I don't have to drive anywhere. And that right there gets rid of all my anxiety. My anxiety level in Florida is here. When I come here, it's down here.
Wow.
That's why when I haven't been able to come here because of the pandemic the past 3 years, I'm like, You know, I try so hard to come here because I know when I come here, it's like my zen here.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Chill in my room, working on drawings, you know, and I like showing it off on Facebook to my friends, you know, because they look forward to it. It's so beautiful here, and they all admire it, and I admire just being here. I'm so blessed to have you bring me here.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Well, that's actually kind of how your two stories connect. Maybe this is a good closure of the podcast. So maybe tell us how it comes that we know you and how you got invited to our studio, the link with Danny.
Your best friend, Danny.
My partner.
Your partner in crime.
Yeah.
I met Danny in 95. He used to own a music venue. He was in the music business for many years. He's very well known in Belgium. He does sound. He just knows everything. He's an amazing guitar player. And my birthday in 95, we played his venue, and he realized it was my birthday. He was so cool because it was a owner and sound man. We never seen nothing like that. He was just one man that did it all, you know. Nice venue, nice stage, place was packed, and he broke out some bottles of champagne. We had a good time, partied. I just thought he was just an authentic, really cool guy, man. And we've been friends ever since, man. You know, and every time we come back to tour in Europe, man, every time we're in Belgium, if he's not booking us, he's out there, hey, Jay, do you need anything? He's always helping, you know, always lending a helping hand. Yeah. But he's usually involved, and if he's not involved, he's there to say hi, and, you know, just a good person, man. I love the guy, man. He's my European brother.
Great.
Yeah.
So when Danny worked here, then with me together, that's how he was like, ooh, I have a friend in America, and now he's tattooing instead of playing music. Yeah,
and you know what? I was in my apartment, you know, I had I set up at home again. I set up a private studio, and what was it? It was the MySpace day. Oh no, Facebook had come along, and I hadn't been over here in a while, but he found me on Facebook. He's like, hey Jay, I see you do tattoos. I'm like, cool. And he mentioned the shop, but back then I was just, oh yeah, cool, whatever. You know, I didn't really pay attention. Until one day he just kept messaging me. He goes, hey, if you're ever interested in coming to Europe, I was like, I don't see that happening. And then I looked at your guys' page, and I was just like incredibly impressed by the amazing, incredible artists that you have working here. I was like, wow, I was actually intimidated. I was like, what do you want me over there for? He goes, we admire your line work, your bold, because I do really, everybody always admires my line work everywhere. And I was like, well, that's cool. And so I started thinking about it. I seen the artists up, but I was very intimidated when I first came here. And I came here, did some clean tattoos, and people were happy, and everything went so smooth, and I was happy. Most important, you guys were happy, and the clients were very happy. And
voila. That's a happy
ending. And the rest is history. Yeah, everybody's got to be happy, you know.
Right.
You don't want to be people to be disappointed, you know. But I was glad I was able to hang, you know. I'm just trying to hang with this young generation of incredible artists, man. I'm just trying to hang tough, you know. But I pick up little things, and I'm the type of artist that likes I always say this is a never-ending learning process. You know, I see some artists stagnate at what they already know and just stick with that. I like to learn something new every year, incorporate something new every year. There's always room for improvement, you know. Of course. Especially with what I've been doing recently, you know. I'm taking my style and incorporating those other styles that I like very much and putting them together, trying to separate myself from people. I don't want to be, oh, he's doing what he's doing, you know, just doing what everyone else is doing. And I've been hearing that for the past 2 years. Everybody say, oh, Jay, you got this unique style that you do. I'm like, and that's what I like to hear. Yeah. Because I'm trying the best I can is all I'm doing.
Right.
So far, so good.
Yeah. So you are having best of both worlds. You've been twice an artist in your life. You've made a career twice with it.
I'm very fortunate, and I consider myself blessed.
Yeah, very well done. I'm glad to have you as a guest, and we will do it more in the future.
I look forward to it.
Thank you very much.
Love being here.
Great. Voilà, deze podcast zit er alweer op. We brengen elke maandag om 18 uur een nieuwe aflevering live. Wil je die zeker niet missen? Klik dan op subscribe onder de video. Tot de volgende maandag om 18 uur.